Hello! In this demonstration video, I'm going to show you how to mount springs on impossible couplers. The patent-pending impossible coupler design makes installation easier than traditional designs, as the coupler shanks and springs stay together once assembled. I recommend starting by putting the parts into a small dish like I'm showing here, to help keep everything together during this assembly phase, as it's the time you're most likely to lose the spring. All you need is a regular wooden toothpick with one end slightly trimmed down, as you can see here. You should trim the ends of the toothpick so you roughly have about 1/3 of the spring on the toothpick taper when you poke the toothpick into the end of the spring. So we'll hit the spring onto the end of the toothpick here in the dish. Yep. There we go. We'll zoom in. And you can see here we have the spring on the end of the toothpick. And we have about roughly 1/3 of the spring not on the taper. Now what we're going to do is we're going to grab knuckle half of the coupler. And you can see on the back of the coupler there's a little mounting boss for the spring. And it's designed so that closed coils of the spring snap over that mounting boss. You just line the spring up, start gently compressing it, wiggling it around to snap the closed coils of the spring onto the coupler. Once we think we have it snapped on, we can gently remove the toothpick, and you can see that the spring is staying attached to the coupler assembly at this point in time. You can then move on to the retainer. This retainer has its extension boss in place. So at this point, it's sometimes a little bit harder to get the spring over the extension boss and still have it snap over. But usually if you gently compress and wiggle, it will snap over the retainer side. Once you think you have it snapped, it doesn't hurt just to gently pull on the coupler to make sure that it's staying firmly attached to the spring. The last step is now to take the coupler and gently rotate the shank halves so that they are now aligned and sitting flat. It's important the coupler rests in a flat position, like this one we're seeing here right now. You set that down. At this point, this coupler assembly will stay together. You can even drop it on the floor and it's very unlikely to come apart on you. Or if it does, it's just going to be one shank coming off the spring, not both. So you don't tend to lose the spring once it's in this state. We can again repeat this process, the other coupler, just to demonstrate it again. So we'll again slip the spring onto the end of the toothpick, grab our knuckle, line it up, and gently compress the spring over the mounting boss on the coupler shank. Slip it on, gently withdraw the toothpick. We have our spring mounted to the knuckle shank. Grab our retainer shank. In this case, I do not have the retainer extension post on this retainer, so sometimes you need it, sometimes you don't. We'll get into that in future videos. Just gently press these guys together. And you can see that the retainer now is snapped on. Give it a gentle tug just to make sure it's on. Rotate the parts back into the flat position. Now we have another coupler assembler. These guys are now ready for either installation into an existing box in a universal glue and shim installation, or assembly into a scale box for a screw-in box replacement installation. Thank you for watching. We'll see you in a future video.